Get on board with crypto. Sheesh. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Blast Off with Ribs. I'm your host, Ribs. Today is an update of sorts on a bunch of things and what's been going on with the channel and everything like that. So today, kind of a fun announcement. I'm working on a website, sort of, mostly just for see how it works, really. A little bit of a professional website from unstoppabledomains.com. I believe that's what it is. Unstoppable Domains. I don't know if any of you have heard about that, but it is a blockchain domain site where you can buy blockchain domains. So I purchased one. It is seemingly a little pricey just due to gas fees. So you can purchase them on Unstoppable Domains for whatever price, 20, 40, 80, 100, whatever, blah, 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 1,000, depending upon what domain you're actually going to buy and based on what they perceive could be the actual cost of that. I don't know how they really determine that, but maybe based on some popularity with current domains out there with certain names, certain titles, certain words, whatever. Mine was like $20, so that was pretty cheap. I think that's like the cheapest you can buy one for. Not 100% sure about that since I haven't really tested it all out, but $20. But then after that, in order to accept the domain, you need to pay a gas fee. You literally just have to pay a gas fee. Thought that was weird. But I own the domain now, but now in order to launch it, I have to pay another gas fee, which I think I paid $20 for the 20 USD for the domain, and I thought I was going to pay another $50 for gas fees, but I waited just at the right moment, I guess, and it dropped to 20, I want to say $25-ish. USD worth of ETH, so you do need ETH to pay the gas fee, obviously. I think that's just my domain name since I did a .wallet instead of a .crypto or .bitcoin. I wish I kind of did .bitcoin at this point. It was a little pricier. I wanted to buy a couple domains, but I figured start at one, see how I like that, because I wanted to do a couple different things with them, have them be for different things. So you can actually, and I might do this in the future, is, if people donate cryptocurrencies to the channel, which would, technically be me, I would utilize those funds for trades just to see how that would work out. I don't know if I'm actually going to do that. I don't know how popular that will be. I think it would just be an interesting thing. From what I've seen, I don't think anybody's doing that. Obviously it wouldn't be too much money, but I would pool the money together for say a month or so, utilize those funds for a trade, and then maybe based on those trades, do something with that. Obviously I'd like to keep it within the bounds of the channel. I don't know how I'm going to actually be able to do that, but I think that would just be a fun little aspect to try, and maybe we won't even do it. Maybe I'll just use my own trades, for instance, what I got going on here in front of us. This is Phoenix, at least that's how I pronounce it. I know a lot of people don't really know about this exchange. I use it. Bots are built into the exchange. Bit Universe bots are built in, and it runs from Binance. It runs off Binance. So what I would assume whatever is on here, and I haven't done too much research into this just because I've been super busy with my own life. I work full time, plus I'm a student. I'm getting my master's degree in finance. I wish it was in crypto, but that's not really a thing. At the moment, I know you can do blockchain stuff, but that's not really what I wanted to do with that. I need to stop saying Anyways. But yeah, I think that will be a fun little attribute that we can do. You can check out the website. I would like to have links to everything on the website, not just on my YouTube channel. So if you'd like to donate to the channel, that'd be great. I could do promotions. I could give T-shirts away, preferably crypto T-shirts. You know, whatever, Bitcoin, Polkadot, Ethereum. You know, even XYO, since that's probably one of my biggest holdings at the moment. Especially with it exploding recently and then, you know, kind of dying off, but it's still at a pretty high point from what it was, so I'm still pretty stoked about that. Pretty pumped, pretty off to the moonish. I think that's really, really awesome that they're actually doing something for now. But let's get into this chart. So let's do this here. Okay, let's just get rid of my indicators and we can kind of go over the indicators a little bit here. So let's start off. I like the 4 hourly time frame. It gives you a little bit more of a deeper aspect. So the lines that are showing are the candles along with the moving averages. So like the 5 hour, 10 hourly, 5 day, is that 5 day, 10 day, 30 day, 2 month moving average. I usually don't pay attention to them too much, but as you can see, it really tends to follow one specific moving average. If we can, it doesn't really follow that one. But the 5 and 10 day moving averages, it's really close to following that 5 day moving average and the 10 day moving average. So let's get into this a little bit here. So this is a little bit of technical analysis. We're going to do more of like path stuff. I think that would be a little bit easier than working too much on this current movement, since we're in a period where we don't know what's happening really. So I can actually go to the daily time frame. Let's spread that out. This is each candle is 1 day. 1 day. So this is what's happened each day for the past X amount of days. So this is it going to tell me what days are what here? No, it doesn't give me dates apparently. Which is fine. Each of them is a day. Each candle is 1 day. So a red candle is a negative and a green candle is a positive. And the open and closes is the thick part of the candle, and the total movement is the wick, is the entire candle. So the little wicks that you see is where it moved throughout that entire day. So as you can see here, we haven't really had any movement in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, like a little over a month and a half, just right here alone. So what I'll do is we seem to be running into a support line here. So what that means is that line is supported by essentially the bulls. The bulls are supporting this line, making sure the bears don't bring the price down. And a bull is someone who's wants the price to go up, and a bear is something that makes the price go down, or someone who likes to make the price go down. So like if you're bearish, you want the price to go down. If you're bullish, you want the price to go up. I'm mostly bullish. Obviously, over the course of the entirety of crypto, it's been bullish. So I don't know how bearish you could really be when it comes to this. If we can I do that? I'll go to a weekly time frame here. So if we zoom really far out, how many weeks? Oh, I have a pardon me, impromptu. So as you can see, we started here and it's just up, from there. So I don't know how you couldn't be, bullish with this. So give me the line. So yeah, it's up. clear that out. So we'll go back to my original time frame here. Let's go back to the daily. So the daily time frame, we want to really hold. So these are just lines. They're rays. They're lines. They're things that give a perspective essentially. So we want to put one here. Actually, that's the wrong line. I don't want that line. I want a ray. I want a horizontal line here. This will go on for a while. So this is a support line. So on the daily time frame, we haven't quite closed below it since today is still a day where we are open. The trading has not closed for the day. I believe it runs off of British time, so whatever that new day would be. I think it's around like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, at least. So, if you live in Britain, there you go. So we really don't want to break this line, but as you can see, on the 4 hourly we have. So like, each time frame does give you a different aspect of what could happen. Shorter time frames, if you're a day trader, you're probably looking at the 1, 5, 15 minute time frames, probably the hourly, even 4 hourly. You're probably not looking at the day time frames as much. You want to look at all the time frames all the time, based on certain aspects of like long-term assets, like hodling. You probably won't care too much since, obviously the market's going up. But if you are looking at that longer time frame, you're probably looking at the 4 hour, the daily, the weekly, maybe even like the monthly time frames. And that way you can see a larger picture. You can see, if you do want to sell some of your assets, or if you do want to buy in again, in making those trades to potentially accumulate more, or to even just cash out at a peak. If you've got whatever going on, everyone's got stuff going on. Some people have to cash out earlier than they would have liked to, but that's life. That's life. So getting back into this is Bitcoin. I've had a trade open for a long time now, for quite some time, but some more technical analysis here. So we might be able to consider one of this pattern here, right here, on the daily time frame here. You could consider this to be a double top M pattern. Kind of use some more lines here. Can I just draw? Maybe, let's see. I don't play around with these too much since I only use basic technical analysis. I don't use like some of the huge ones and I don't pay for services because I don't have that much time really as some people do. So I don't typically do that. Come on, there's got to be some other ones here. No? Okay. I thought there used to be some on here. Either way, I'll draw a line here. Oh, arcs. Triangles. So this could be like 1M. Oh, that's not convenient. And then this could be like the other part. And then where my line is where we want. So yeah, let me just redo this. Let's just clear that. Clear. We'll make new lines. So I'm putting this line here, and it seems to be kind of a support line in numerous areas. You could probably just put a rectangle, since obviously like the area itself is probably where you want it. But this is a support line, not only for this pattern, but for what is actually happening here. So this could be 1, 2, and then this is the neckline, or just like the line in which we need to break in order for this pattern to play out, which this pattern is playing out. As you can clearly see, it's below this line, but it needs a close. So if you go on like the hourly, the hourly time frame, we can. Oh, that's weird. That's my pattern more accurately, I guess. That's just funny. That's just good stuff right there. You would probably make a short here. Since it did close below that line here, I guess it's a little bit lower here, since obviously the data is a little bit different. So you would probably put a short here. I don't short. I just don't. Not yet, since I consider us still to be in a bull market, so I'm not going to be shorting anything. And we can even break this down even further here. So within this larger pattern, there could be numerous other patterns. So here could be another, and I'll change the color of this to being, let's do bright green here. So here's 1, and then 2, and then we have a line here. So I'll just draw a regular trend line. And they're not always flat like I have been putting them. Sometimes they're a little slanted, some, each way. So it can look a lot different than this. So this could be another double top, whereas you can see we did break down there. And typically when you're using this, you want to go from the bottom of the trend all the way to its height. You can either use the open and close, which is probably going to be a little bit more conservative when you're dealing with that, but that's the target measure for the short. So breaks out, closes, starts a new one, closes again, and then you could make your in this case it broke and just went straight down, and see how this little candle almost touched the exact bottom of my little marker there, my little line here. So then you could you could have kept that open, and then wham bam, there you go. You made a bunch of money there, like literally doubled that trend line, which does happen. Anything can happen in the market. It's very hard to predict, even utilizing technical analysis, because you could get faked out, like lose your money, liquidate yourself, whatever. So don't use 100% of your assets in a single trade. You want to either cycle them in, so like make your position larger as it goes to maximize profits, and that way, and use stop loss, or even just like once you hit a certain point, it will cash out for you. So that way you make gains, and who cares wherever the price goes at that point, because you did what you were supposed to do at that point. Plus, you don't want to get wrecked. You just don't want to get wrecked. Don't get wrecked. I've gotten wrecked. Every trader, if they say, if you go up to a trader and they say they've never been wrecked before, they're lying. There's no way you're 100% successful with every trade. It's just impossible. I mean, I use a couple different ones for different kinds of trading. I use Phoenix for bot trading. It is difficult at first, I think, to understand. So only use like the minimum that you could for one, in figuring out where and when, if it hits certain points, to have it trade. So I think in the next video, once the markets kind of like do something where I feel comfortable making a trade, I will do a video. I will do a video on that. I think that'd be really cool to show people. And I'm not perfect, so there are tons of guys on YouTube that are doing it. Like, check out Crypto. Check out Carl from the Moon. So the Moon, these are both on YouTube. Crypto Zombie does it even too. He'd give you some technical analysis, some news updates, and whatnot. But I think Crypto and the Moon, also Da Vinci J 15. Those three guys, man, those guys do it. Granted, they have much larger trades, but they're pretty transparent about what they're doing, and they've gotten wrecked, and they've told us. So, but they also have like millions of dollars in positions, so it's cool to watch. It's cool to watch, especially when they make more money than you in like a few days than you did in a year. I think it's pretty awesome. But they said anybody can do it. I believe one of them, Carl from the Moon, he used to work at a grocery store before Bitcoin took off. So he was just an average guy, just like me, just like you. And then all of a sudden, you know, he did something right, and it paid off. So now he lives in Dubai. But this is just some basic stuff. So let's do another one here. Let's find a good little spot to do these. Actually, let's do the reverse of what we just did. So a double top, there is a reverse pattern called a double bottom. So if we look here, actually, let's do another. I'm going to actually use just trend lines here. See how that's not perfectly straight, but this is essentially a double bottom or a W pattern. So a double bottom, W pattern, double top, M pattern. They're just the reverse of each other. So as you can see, from the bottom or the top all the way down to the bottom, there you go, and see how that almost hits perfect. Right there, right here, right where I'm showing you, perfectly touches the top of that. And even if I utilized the candles, the wicks, so that would have been, if I used the wicks, that would have been just right there. Right there. So that would have been a great trade. I'm sure people are trading. Look at them all. Look at them all. You can literally, once you do one, you can see them. You can just see the M pattern, W patterns, M pattern, W pattern. You could consider that a W pattern, but that's one that obviously didn't play out and went down. W pattern, M pattern, W pattern. Like they can be within themselves, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's move on to another pattern. So there's actually one right here. So I would call this a descending wedge. Typically, these patterns are bearish. They are, so I did that wrong here. And this could be just slightly off. But the bottom of it does need to be flat, like completely flat. So this could technically be a little bit different, but it did play out as a descending wedge. So, or you could even consider that to be a bear flag. I don't think that is, because these are just really huge candles. Usually you want a bunch of candles coming down, not just 2, 3, 4. That's my opinion. So, but normally with that, you would go from the top to the bottom of it, and you would play it out. And then you could duplicate this, clone. So now I got 2 of them. And wherever that breakout is, and see how we came right to it. Right to the top. Man, it took a little while to get there, but you could have cashed out here, you could have cashed out there, but as soon as those patterns have a close, so you want something to close, not just have one wick. You want a second candle closing outside of the pattern itself. And then you can create a trade. As you can see, if we zoom in there, wick closed outside, and then it closed outside again, and then that's where you would make your trade, and then there you go. You could, at any point, you could cash out. Now you can do all sorts of trades with that. You can create bots for short term. You can create bots for long term. You can do shorts. You can do leverage. You can do longs. So shorts and longs are like the opposite of each other. So shorts are more of an accumulation. So you gain more, significantly more than you would be when you're longing. So shorts are an accumulation to a long, where you do gain whatever it is that you're trading. You do gain from a long, but you'll gain more from a short. Again, that's my opinion. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. So that's a little bit of that's the video for this time, I think. Just a little bit of some easy technical analysis, only some patterns. If there are some other things that you want me to discuss, then let's go ahead and do that in another video. Please leave me a like if you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs down if you hated it. And we'll go from there. let me know what types of patterns you're interested in. We can show you some on this channel. I definitely want to educate some people on some basic technical analysis. It can be a little confusing at times on what it is that they do, and we can show you some patterns. But those are some of the really basic ones. So like wedges, descending triangles, ascending triangles, ascending wedges, broadening triangles, everything. We can go over all that stuff. But please leave me a comment in the comment. Please leave a comment down below, and I can know what people are interested in, especially when it comes to like Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin to USDT chart, which is pretty much the US Bitcoin to USD, since Tether is somewhat tied to the US dollar. Not completely. Also, if anyone is curious to know what this is down here, this is volume. And volume plays a huge bit when you're trading too. Because if there's no volume, what's happening? What's happening? But that is it for today. Thank you for blasting off with Ribs. Get on board with crypto. Sheesh.